We really believe that the key to breakthrough information, the key to breakthrough products, services in any area rests in the ability of an organization to basically become a knowledge organization and the ability to intersect, integrate, and rebuild and reconstruct knowledge from all different disciplines. And certainly Apple was a prime example of that, a company that understood the value of information, of education, of technology and design, and put all those things together and created truly breakthrough products that are still amazing to me. I was recently, not too long ago, about 6 months ago, I walked into Borders Books in Lexington to buy a book, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna go get a CD. I haven't bought a CD in a while. I wanted to maybe, go get a CD. So I go over to the CD section, no CDs. They're all gone. I'm thinking, what the hell's where are the CDs? All they had were DVDs. Well, there's no more CD industry, right? The iPod, downloadable music, it's gone. There is no, basically overnight we lost it until all of us grew up with records and buying CDs. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore for all intents and purposes. And next year you'll go back and there won't be any DVDs either. That'll be gone. We were talking at lunch, the next thing will be your grandkids are going to look at you one day and they're going to say, God, I can't believe you guys use those keyboards. Did you actually enter information with that? Is that how you did that? Those will probably be the next thing to go with voice recognition and a lot of other things. And all of these things are disruptive. They're disruptive in a good way in many ways, but they are clearly disruptive. And again, that's what the festival is about. It's about providing an opportunity for people from all over the world to come together to understand what the cutting edge ideas are in all these different fields, because they all relate to us. We often say there's no such thing as useless knowledge. It all relates, it all comes together, and it all helps us to develop and design new ways of doing the kinds of things that we all do, whether it's in education or business or medical care or whatever it might be. I think the basic construct is the same, and it obviously is really, really important for education as well. So we talk about innovation, we talk about nimbleness, the ability to change, the ability to be creative, to create creative thinkers. And to talk about that as we talk about the future, and that's really what it's about. I'll give you some of the people, some of the ideas, some of the things we're going to be dealing with at this year's festival that I'll talk about for a second. One, we have Maurice Ashley. Maurice Ashley was the first black Grand National chess champion, who is going to be here talking at Thrivals, which Nat Irvin, many of you know, is really the leader on. But he's also going to be dealing at what we call an IF mashup session on Thursday morning on the relationship between chess and business strategy. And the relationship and the connection there. So that's one of the things we're going to be dealing with. One of the ideas we're going to be dealing with this year is the whole issue of bullying. All of us know the issue that has arisen in this country and overseas with the problem with bullying. And there was a movie that came out actually this year called Bully. And Cynthia Lowen, who produced that film, will be here at the Idea Festival talking about the film and talking about the issue of bullying. She's going to actually be here for a couple days. We're going to have her do a special session for kids as well. So we're going to be talking about the issue of bullying as well. When we talk about disruptive change in the future, one of the things we're going to be talking about this year is the coming, what many believe is the coming obsolescence of a lot of colleges and universities in this country because of the changes in technology and changing learning styles. And Rich DeMillo, who's the former Chief Technology Officer at Hewlett-Packard, and now heads up the Center for 21st Century Universities at Georgia Tech, is going to be here. He's just written a book on this topic, talking about this kind of coming revolution in higher education. And it's a really, really critically important topic. In terms of where we're headed in education, many of you may know or not know that, how many of you know that MIT has all its classes online now for free? Anyone can go and take an MIT course now for free. And they're being followed now by Stanford, Princeton, and Harvard. Some of the classes, you only pay something if you take the final exam. And if you take the final exam, you pay something. The first course at MIT that they offered in computers and circuits, they drew 120,000 students to take that class. Now, it doesn't take much of a leap to understand and to see where higher education is headed in this country. It's not going to head it all online. I'm not suggesting that, although you'll have some of that. You'll probably have hybrids. But I think we are clearly headed very, very quickly into a major disruption where you're going to have a lot of students, because they're taking away the gatekeepers. If I'm a student, just stay with me, I'm a student and I want to take a course in X, and I can take that course from one of the top people in the country or in the world who teaches that for $500, or I can go take it at the University of Southern whatever for $10,000 and take it from somebody I've never heard of. What am I going to do? And if you don't think There's a Coursera, which is at Stanford, which is a similar project. They just raised $60 million from the venture capital community. So we're going to be talking about the coming disruption in education and what the implications are, et cetera. We're going to be doing something similar in K-12 education. Tony Wagner, who's an education and entrepreneur fellow at Harvard University, did a project called the Finland Phenomenon a couple of years ago, where he went to Finland. I didn't realize this, but Finland is like #1. They have been like number 1, 2, or 3 in all the educational indicators for the past decade or so. And they operate a very different kind of system than we do. They have no standardized tests. Kids go to school less time than we do. They have no private schools, et cetera. And he's going to be talking about, one, creative thinking in schools, and how do we create the next generation of game changers, which is what he does primarily with students, but also about the Finland phenomenon and how, not that they're the ideal, not that we want to replicate them, but they operate on a very different set of assumptions than this country does, and yet they have phenomenal success. So we're going to be talking about some of those kinds of things. I'm really pleased and excited. We just confirmed yesterday Ali Farzad. Ali Farzad is a political cartoonist and journalist from Syria who just won an international prize for heroism. He basically is now in Kuwait because the Assad regime tried to kill him. They broke both of his hands and threw him out of a car for criticizing the Assad regime. We're actually flying him in from Kuwait, where he is in exile. And he's going to be here for 3 days talking about what it really means to fight for truth and freedom in an area where your life is at risk every day, to talk about the Arab world and what we understand. So we're really, really excited that we just confirmed him recently. Some of the other people, let me see, I'm going to jump around here a little bit. Lisa Randall, the great cosmologist, particle physicist from Harvard, will be speaking on Saturday morning. We have speakers this year coming in from Tanzania, Kuwait in the Middle East, Germany, England, a lot of different places, along with people who will be attending the festival from all over the world in dealing with a lot of interesting topics, from medical breakthroughs to new kinds of ideas in design in the arts, and CEOs of companies and social entrepreneurs, top scientists, et cetera. And they'll all be here for 4 days to all help us understand a little bit better our world we live in and where we go. And that's really part of what the festival is about, is helping us understand the context in which we live. And when we talk about the festival, we talk about it being about ideas, which it is. We talk about it being about creativity and innovation, which it is. But really what it's about at its core, Idea Festival is really about solutions. It's really about helping people understand, how do you solve problems? Whether those problems be in education, or if you're an artist, or if you're whatever, it's really about how to solve problems in today's world. And we feel very strongly, what the Idea Festival is predicated on, the way you solve problems is that you have to be able to identify all sorts of different information, ideas. You have to be open to those ideas. You have to learn how to think creatively. You have to kind of mash up those things and reconstruct them in ways that are truly, truly novel. Because it's like Seth Godin said, who's the marketing guy, he said, to not stand out in today's world is to be invisible. So you've got to find ways of really doing not just marginally better, but exponentially better if you want to be a great company, if you want to be a great school, if you want to be a great hospital, and if you want to be a great city. One of the reasons we do the festival is to expand the brand of Louisville and of Kentucky into that space, because we feel very strongly festival, first and foremost, is to provide a stage for people from all over the world to come together to learn how to do these things. But secondly, it is also to expand, hopefully, our brand into that space, so that we also, in addition to a lot of the other great things that happen here in Louisville and happen in Kentucky, we can add innovation to that. And that's something, unfortunately, that we're not known for in the world today, and we need to be known for that if we're going to recruit and retain the kind of talent and the kinds of ingenuity that we need as a city. And so I'm going to close with that. Before I close, though, let me take out a pencil. This is special because you're here. Before I came, I made sure that for the next 3 days, if you buy an all-access pass and you put in the promo code IF350, you'll get $100 off the all-access pass. And that's the best bargain, because this assures you to get in 4 days, 3 receptions, the great reception that Tanya puts on, Taste of Innovation. Tanya's going to do a special dance this year at there, so you won't want to miss that. All the receptions, all of the events, to make sure you have a seat. If you put that promo code in, it will give you, for the next 3 days, you'll get $100 off an all-access pass. And we designed the festival. I know that all of you won't be able to go to each festival, and you can buy. We'll have individual tickets on sale in a couple of weeks, but those will be just for the events that we have left. If they're sold out, then they're sold out. But I would encourage you, we designed the festival for people to come to the whole thing. People sometimes ask me, I'm really busy, I can't go to the whole thing, what should I go to? And so it's kind of like asking a novelist, I can't read the book, which chapter should I read? And we know you can't go to it, but we really encourage you to do that, because that's how you get the kind of the full picture. So